All right, guys, really quick right now. I just want to share something with you because a lot of people have asked me this question. Albert, at what time do I scale my business? At what time do I scale my business? When is it time to really blow up my business? When should we scale? And let me tell you what I mean by scaling. By scaling, I mean at least $100 million business, $100 million business and up. So when you talk about scaling, you got to look at a lot of things in a lot of things, the entire picture. And keep in mind that I'm telling you guys this because it's based on my experience. So this is based on what worked for me. What worked for me. And maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. Now, don't watch this video. So I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. Do not watch this video. Don't watch it if you're weak-minded. If your mind isn't strong enough, don't watch this video. This is a good time to skip this video and watch other videos, okay? Don't watch this video, okay? Because I'm going to talk to you about how and when do you scale your business. And for a lot of people, it's going to be very scary. So skip this video. I'll have nicer videos later following this one, but this is because somebody asked me. And remember, I want to give you guys value. So if you want me to talk about a subject, please comment on my channels and let me know what do you want me to talk about next, cover next. So once again, don't watch this video if you're a little weak in the mind because it's going to be very, very scary for a lot of people, okay? So when you start a business, okay, the first 5 years in business, and once again, based on my experience, first 5 years in business are extremely, extremely, extremely tough, to the point where you want to commit suicide, to the point where you don't want to continue, to the point where it's draining, you don't sleep, you feel horrible, you run out of money, you have to beg people for money, and it's very, very scary the first 5 years. So the first 5 years, you're making a couple million. If you're successful, by the way, a lot of businesses don't even make it past the first year. But if you do last 5 years, you're gonna find yourself making under 8 figures, maybe making a couple million. But what you don't realize is you're making 2 million, 3 million, but you're spending 4 million. You're negative. You're spending more money because you have all these expenses that you never thought or imagined that you would have because you have no experience. You have no experience building a real business. So, for example, for me, I was better off just being a single sales agent, whether a realtor or a loan officer working for another company and taking a split, because I didn't have all the expenses. And expenses are a lot of different things. Could be a lawsuit, could be an IRS taxes. You get audited. Could be somebody reports you. It could be one of your agents makes a mistake. It could be so many things besides just the typical expenses like office, cars, lifestyle. There's a lot of things that come with it. And then the time. It is draining dealing with a lot of people. When you have 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, 300 people under you, it is draining dealing with all these personalities. And if you don't have somebody like, for example, for me, I have an operator. I don't deal with a lot of people. I deal with growth and with our top salespeople, but I don't deal with operations. I have the best operator named Sil, and that happens to be my wife. If you don't have an operator and you're just a sales guy or a sales girl, you won't make it past a couple of years. You won't. You might commit suicide. You might end up in jail. I don't know. Like I said, this video is not meant for you to go cry to mommy and daddy or best friend and be like, hey, I can't believe Albert put this video. Albert is trying to scare me. Albert is saying all these negative things. No, I'm being realistic. Because in times like this, with this scary recession, it's probably going to be one of the worst. It is very, very, very critical that you listen to my advice and, at least you'll save some mistakes and it'll help you maybe not be as painful as it could be. Okay? So very important to have an operator. Now, the first 5 years, what happened to me was I lost $2 million at least of liquid. So I had $2 million in savings. This is like 5 years ago, guys. So 5 years ago, $2 million in savings, liquid money that I was able to get. If you don't have at least $2 million in today's world with inflation in business, I wish you the best of luck, because your only hope is maybe you win the lottery. You win the lottery and or somebody bails you out, but chances of that are slim to none. You have to have a lot of liquid. Now I understand why one time Patrick said you got to have 3 years of reserves, because times like this will happen and you're going to empty your pockets. You're going to run out of money. You're going to be in deep trouble. You're going to end up like me. I used to go Saturdays to the office in hopes that I had a few checks that I could deposit on Saturday, so that the payroll and the checks that I needed to pay people would go through. And guess what? They always went through. Always went through. And you guys know that, and I don't know if that was luck, because you do need a little luck in business, but you know who gets lucky? People that work their asses off. People that God takes care of, people that are good people. When you don't burn your bridges, when you focus on just doing what's right, everything pays off. I tried taking shortcuts. I tried not being ethical, and it always came back and almost put me out of business, almost put me in jail, almost lost a lot of things, almost lost my life. So it's very important that you listen to this and you take this as help, as advice for you to win. Because you know what? In the mortgage industry and the real estate industry, in any industry, there is so much business for everybody to thrive and win. Enough business. Just look at all the real estate companies that are making billions. Look at all the mortgage companies that are making billions. Look at all the other industries, a lot of companies. There's a lot of business for a lot of people. There's a lot of states in this nation, and America is great for entrepreneurs. Now, this is why it's very important for you guys to listen. Drop the ego down and focus. One thing that I want to share with you really quick before I wrap up. One day, okay, and when I talk about the $2 million that I had $2 million, you know where? In real estate. So I accumulated about 18 properties, and every quarter I had to sell a property. Every quarter, because I was negative. I was making under 8 figures, and 3, 4 million, 2 million, and I was spending more than that because the expenses were higher. Lifestyle was higher. And I made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have been spending so much on my lifestyle, but I made the mistake. And this is why I'm showing you right now. Now, you see the Rolls right there. You see another Ferrari back there. I don't know if you could see it right there. Somewhere right there. Where is it? Probably can't see it right there, but you guys get the point. So it took me a long time. And because of Sil, if I didn't have Sil, who's one of the best COOs in the world, I wouldn't be here. Maybe I would have had, I would need 2 different people to replace Sil. I don't know. I don't know where I would be. But I know that she couldn't have done it without me, and I couldn't have done it without her, because we're both different. I'm vision. I'm growth. She's operator. She's the operations expert. And you need both. You need both, because somebody like me needs to focus on growing the company, on the vision. I can't do operations. I can't deal with our team of staff. I need to grow. I need to focus on the sales department, growing that department. Operations, life-changing in business. So where I'm going is every single quarter we were negative. So I started selling one property, another property, and I sold everything. And I got $2 million cash because I invested in the right things. I bought a bunch of real estate. I sold all of it, and I got that cash, and I paid my bills. I paid my taxes. I was behind on taxes for years. I didn't do my taxes for almost 4 years. Guess what? They're all done. They're all paid. And you know why? Because I had money, liquid. Whether I had it in real estate or in the savings account, I got all that money, and I made good investments in many other things. And why did I make good investments? Not only in real estate, but in other things? Because I had the right mentorships. Because even though I have a huge ego, I am very humble to learn from people that have the information that I need, people that are doing better than I am, people that are more experienced than me. And you got to keep an open mind with that. Okay? I'm at the Fontainebleau 2018, not too long ago. And I spend all the money. We get down to the last house, maxed out all my credit cards, maxed out all of sales credit cards, and sales full of collections. I'm full of collections. And I remember Sil starts crying. We're at the Fontainebleau. I don't know why we are in the Fontainebleau, pretending to be ballers. I mean, it was all my fault because I'm the one that was directing the whole thing I was doing. And I'm telling Sil, hey, we're gonna sell this property. It's our last property. I fucked up her credit. I spent all her money. I maxed out all her credit cards. And I'm telling her, we're gonna sell this last property. She starts crying. And I tell her, just give me one last shot. One last shot. One last shot. And I promise I'm gonna deliver. We sell that property. And then we never look back. We make our first 8 figures. 8 figures. For those of you that are, 8 figures is over 10 million. We make over 10 million for the first time. And when you get to that level, now guess what? That's when everything starts getting easy. That's when it's time to grow. And sometimes you get down to that last opportunity, that last chance, that last try, that last chance. You just need one more shot. I had that one more shot. And from there, I don't know why, but I guess after all the grind, the not giving up, the moving forward, even though we were going out of business, I acted like everything was fine. I was a great leader. I never showed any doubt. And I continued to ride. I continued to lead my people. And then it worked out. And then we never looked back. Everything started falling into place. We started getting rid of all the bad people in our companies. We started cutting a lot of relationships. We started attracting the right relationships. We started attracting the right mentors. We started building a circle that's unheard of. And it worked out. But we had our ethics in place. We never burned out our bridges. We always did the right thing. We were always generous, always giving, always wanting to give and help before we received. And it worked out. And look, let me tell you why when you break 8 figures, everything becomes easier. It's so much easier to go from 10 million to 100 million. I always cast a vision. I say, we're doing 50 million. If you heard my speeches, you watch my social media, I say, we're doing 50 million. We're doing 100 million. And guess what? Because it takes the same amount of effort to think big than to think average. And if I say, I'm making 50 million, and I make 30 something million, guess what? It's a win. But if I say I'm gonna make 25 million, I'm gonna make 15 million. That's why I always exaggerate. I always think big. I always cast a vision and put it out in the air and tell people, I'm gonna do 50 million, I'm gonna do 100 million. Well, guess what? I said, we're gonna do 50 million. We got into 30 millions. Greatest year ever last year. This year, we're going to do 100 million. And guess what? It's going to be easier. Because when you break 10 million, it's easy to go from 10 million to 100 million. But you got to have a lot of things. A lot of things that I talked about right now and more. But let me tell you why. When you break 8 figures, 10 million, it becomes so much easier. Because number one, your company's worth a lot of money. Valuation of your company is your top line revenue, and you multiply it by a number. You got to figure out what that number is. When you're making that much money top line, guess what? You get huge credit lines. You get huge loans. Everybody wants to throw money at you. You get investors that want to invest in your company that throw a lot of money at you. You get so much money, and guess what you do with that money? Now you could afford the best counsel, the best advice, the best mentors, the expensive people. You attract the right people, celebrities, people with a lot of money that have sold companies for billions of dollars, if not trillions. You could steal people from other companies. Cash is really important. So, having said that, guys, I mean, I went through a lot of information right here. And like I said, if you're willing to put your life on the line and try to do this thing in this massive recession we are in, go for it. But if I was barely able to do it, if Steve Jobs was barely able to do it, if a lot of these people were barely able to do it, and you see these guys have strong mindsets, it's not for everybody. It's for that special one. If you want to go for it, maybe you're watching this and you're part of a company, a team, and maybe your leader's not, you lost hope in your leader. It's never too late to make a change. You know, here at TMG, we're looking for running mates, for partners. Who wants to run with us? Who wants to be our running mate? Here at Ambiance, we're looking for running mates, partners. Who wants to partner with us? Who wants to continue to scale these companies that are worth a lot of money? And the revenue for the company is up there. And we understand what it takes to build more value for your company. That everybody that wants to participate will become an owner of the company. Just like all the big, huge companies that exist. There's a lot of owners, not just one, not just two, a lot of owners. So I can't wait to find our next running mates. Hopefully you guys love this. Comment below, like, subscribe, share, and let me know. Albert, look, I love this video. I didn't get scared. You pumped me up. I want you to talk about this next. Love you guys.